Thank you, Mr. Deputy President. If the 60s were the age of Aquarius, then our present decade is likely to be known as the age of AI. We are at the beginning of enormous technological and social change, but we need to think clearly about its implementation, lest this becomes another great leap forward, which left one of the largest famines in human history in its wake. Speaking at the recent Anglicare anniversary dinner, CEO Simon Miller said, "The Industrial Revolution came for agricultural labour. The automation wave of the 20th century came for factory labour. The AI wave is coming for cognitive work. The analysis, the writing, the diagnosis, the advising, the work modern middle-class life and identity have been built around. There is a dislocation coming in the next 10 years that I do not think we are remotely prepared for, and the consequences will be significant." I share his concern. We have seen what has happened to coding jobs, and we are beginning to see the impact on the law, advertising, and the creative arts. But AI is not just a tale of negatives, and certainly great benefits in productivity have been forecast. But we need not to be blinded by the shiny newness of AI and understand and manage the risks as well. The Industrial Revolution bore great fruits for humanity and caused enormous social dislocation and pain. This was often because labourers were seen only as workers who needed to keep up with the demands of machines which could produce 24 hours a day, and their humanity and inherent dignity was lost. Writing 135 years ago, Pope Leo XIII, in the encyclical Rerum Novarum, squarely addressed the results of the Industrial Revolution and what happens in a society when the dignity of the human person is lost. He condemns the cruelty of grasping speculators who use human beings as mere instruments for making money, and calls for the dignity of work and of workers to be recognised. Pope Leo XIII called for a balance between the rights of owners and workers, and called on the state to protect the rights of the people, and acknowledged the role of the Church to teach correct social principles which will lead to social harmony. AI now brings us great possibilities, but also challenges, which Pope Leo XIV, who took his name conscious of the importance of Rerum Novarum, has addressed in his first encyclical, Magnifica Humanitas, which opens, "Humanity, created by God in all its grandeur, is today facing a pivotal choice, either to construct a new Tower of Babel or to build the city in which God and humanity dwell together. We can choose to live in disunity, unable to listen and talk to each other, or we can choose harmony and peace." The Pope is not a Luddite. He does not see AI as intrinsically evil, but he notes that technology is never neutral because it takes on the characteristics of those who devise, finance, regulate and use it. And this is the challenge for us in this place and for the broader community. How do we ensure that this technology is shaped in a way which is ordered to the good, which will not only increase productivity, but also human flourishing? The Pope suggests that this can be done by adopting an ethical code for AI, subject to shared standards of social justice, because a more moral AI is not enough if that morality is determined by a few. And he also calls out the environmental impact of new technology with the large quantities of water and energy which are required. Technology, he continues, can alleviate humanity's sufferings and open new possibilities, but it must not deny the essence of humanity, which is our capacity for relationship and love. Because as Simon Miller said, algorithms recommend, predict, optimise, but they do not listen. They process, they sort. They were never built to listen because they were never built to grant that you are real. Algorithms know about us. Markets know about us. Governments know about us. None of them know us. And what is important for human dignity, for connection, for a sense of purpose, for good mental health, is to be known, not to be a cog in an industrial process or a data point in an algorithm, but to be seen and listened to and respected as the unique human being we are. And no amount of increased productivity can make up for the societal damage if we don't keep the human, keep the listening, keep the caring in our adoption of AI.
Honourable Tanya Mihalik.